Yeah, so literally I got out of this theory because a lot of people said I was wrong about Xehanort and the Apprentice being the same person. Not being the same person, that is. And, yeah, so here's another theory to probably get a lot of people angry. Well, not angry, but, send me some comments why I'm wrong. Oh, well, my name's Fox1. They get 9-bit Fox, and welcome to another 9-bit crackpot theory. 9 crackpot theory. Because my Kingdom Hearts videos are getting some boosts, I did want to kind of do a couple more Kingdom Hearts ones, because, again, I love Kingdom Hearts. One of my last videos, Kingdom Hearts videos, the 13, basically that, I said that basically all 13 Secrets of Darkness have already been revealed, and I'm sticking to that. A lot of people wanted to like to point out that Xehanort and the Apprentice are the exact same person, even though I categorize them as two separate, different Xehanorts, basically. And I extremely still stick by that because a couple of reasons for that, and I'll also get into my list too as well. Basically, how I see it is Xehanort is Xehanort controlling Terra's body. The Apprentice is the body of Terra, but with neither heart in control, and the body having its own personality. Kind of not really similar to Xemnas, because Xemnas even is still technically is controlled by Xehanort, but is more Terra than anything else. But the Xehanort, but the Apprentice, I'm gonna call him the Apprentice. He, in a sense, is different from both Xehanort and Terra in a couple things. One major thing being, it looks like the Apprentice doesn't have any abilities. Heck, even his eyes aren't even golden nor blue, but are actually a brown color instead, showing that, yeah, neither heart is actually in control of this body. This body is merely a lie, basically. It has its own, it's basically, again, like a nobody. It's like, even though I do say Ventus and Roxas will probably eventually merge and become one, that is, in a sense, kind of what this Apprentice is, in a sense of how Roxas was. That Roxas isn't Ventus, and Ventus isn't Roxas. They are separate beings. Mind you, I believe they will merge at some point and have the memories of both, but the Apprentice is his own being. He has his own personality, even in a sense has his own goals, even though, yeah, he is still researching into darkness, and most likely his research in darkness is somewhat influenced by Xehanort. It isn't Xehanort that's in control of it. Less, I doubt Xehanort would just stand around and be like, yeah, I'm going to be the apprentice of this Ansem guy for like 9 years. I doubt that's the case. Let's see. But basically, there are some other things that I'm going to try to use the games to kind of, bring out in it. Especially since these are some outstanding questions in the actual games that this could actually fill. One of them being, Ansem can't wield a Keyblade. This one thing, people say that, like, the reason, and the thing is, like, anyways, in Kingdom Hearts 1, he could wield a Keyblade when he was possessing Riku, because, of course, Riku is a Keyblade wielder, and was originally the one to wield was supposed to wield the Kingdom Key, until supposedly he gave his heart into darkness and was no longer able to wield a Keyblade. And I say supposedly because, well, there have been multiple characters who have been given into the darkness and have still been able to retain their Keyblades. Short being Xehanort himself, Master Xehanort, who is a Seeker of Darkness, Vanitas, who isn't so much that he was given himself into darkness, but is only darkness. He is the dark half of Ventus's heart. So he probably shouldn't be able to wield a Keyblade if giving into the darkness is a thing in this universe. So Xehanort. So Vanitas basically is a Heartless. He's basically the very first emblem Heartless. He is made of pure darkness, yet somehow he's able to wield a Keyblade. That seems kind of strange to me. And of course, Riku himself. Even though, Riku, as the story progresses, eventually kind of gives back into the light and eventually gains his light abilities. He gains control over darkness and light. Riku, though, still was given into the darkness and was still even able to wield a Keyblade. Even in the first game, where he was able to literally will the Kingdom Key into his hand. Even though, eventually it returns to Sora, he was eventually able to will the Kingdom Key back into his hand, as well as then be able to use the Keyblade of Hearts. Keyblade of Heart. So, Heart! The whole give it into the darkness thing shouldn't really make matter. But, and again, this is an iffy part of this theory, but if, let's say, someone who doesn't wield the Keyblade is in control of the Heartless form, let's say the Apprentice, who is neither a Heartless nor a Keyblade, who's neither Master Xehanort nor Terra, and was technically never given the right to wield a Keyblade, he is then able to wield. He's then the reason why he himself is not able to wield a Keyblade. That alone, I'm going to say right now, that alone is a bit iffy on my part. That alone is a bit iffy. Especially since characters like Roxas, again, are able to wield the Keyblade. But then again, Roxas is able to wield the Keyblade because he has... Actually, it would be kind of cool to see the Apprentice dual wield. Roxas is able to wield the Keyblade because he has Sora's heart and... I have a visual representation. Because he's able to wield... God dang it. He's able to wield both Sora's Keyblade as well as Ventus's Keyblade. Hence why he's able to then use... That's the reason why Roxas is able to dual wield. And also why Shion is able to get a Keyblade as well. What was it? That is a little iffy on that mark. But there are also some other... The third reason... Well, technically second because I haven't told you the first one. The third one being Xehanort's plan. Even though, yes, you could technically chalk this up to, like, well, they didn't know what the fudge they were doing in the first game. That's why, like, everyone says, like, Sora's a Keyblade Master. And then, like, in Kingdom Hearts 3D, he's like, Zensen's like, no, you thought you were a Keyblade Master. That word was being thrown around loosely. Technically, you're just an apprentice. Stuff like that. But, this is basically what Xehanort's plan is for both his heartless self and his nobody. Xemnas is supposed to go and find 13 vessels to hold the Xehanort's heart, so that way he could have his 13 Secrets of Darkness. While Ansem is supposed to find the 7 pure lights, that way they could clash with the 13 of darkness. That way then they can form the Keyblade, or X-Blade. But that plan kind of falls apart after Ansem not only finds all 7 hearts, but then goes on to decide, F the world, I'm gonna let darkness consume everything. Yeah, that might put a little damper on Xehanort's plan if his Heartless, who is apparently in on all this, and is also the one who time traveled, again, might just be, again, that they didn't plan it and make a convoluted story, but still, that I think it would put a damper on things if all of light is extinguished and just darkness rules and kind of messes up Xehanort's whole balance between darkness and light by summoning Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, but if you see it from the exact same perspective as Xemnas, who again, Xemnas has shown in multiple occasions, whether it be, I believe he is actually even the one who created the nobody symbol, as well as the one who created the Chamber of Repose, where he talks to Aqua's armor because he still has in his head some memories of course, Aqua and Ventus, as having the memories of Terra still in there somewhere. So, if you look at that from that angle, the Apprentice could actually still be, in a sense, again, still have the whole, he is technically still leading, he's still being pulled around by Xehanort's heart, but his personality and everything is that of the apprentice. The apprentice being, not Terranord. And again, this I kind of bring up in a couple of reasons. One being, he wants the world to be consumed by darkness, and just darkness. Xehanort, again, he wants to control Kingdom Hearts, but at least from what so far that I've seen, the reason why he wants to control Kingdom Hearts is because he wants to try to create a balance between darkness and light. But Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness, is all about darkness. It's just complete destruction of everything. Let darkness consume everything. Which again, if Xehanort is trying to make a balance, that's not going to happen. If darkness just consumes all. I guess, but if one of two things. One, if, let's say, the apprentice, who is kind of obsessed with creating Heartless as well as creating the darkness, because you gotta remember, every emblem Heartless made, at least that have the emblem on, are artificial Heartless. That Xehanort's Heartless, aka Ansem, aka the apprentice, created. At least I believe that, well, it's the emblem Heartless, but the emblem Heartless then can create more emblem Heartless, but basically, yeah. That they are all artificially made. So it would stand to reason if, let's say, the apprentice believed he could control the darkness and eventually take over, destroying the world and letting it be submerged in darkness, wouldn't be that far off for him to try to do. Or on the flip note of that, the apprentice is trying to kill Xehanort. And I again, iffy on that mark, but if the apprentice, let's say, is, because at, what is it, toward the end of Kingdom Hearts 3D, or the beginning of 3D, Xehanort, or Terranord takes back over of the apprentice and uses the Keyblade, releases the hearts of all the other apprentices, and, takes over. Creating, and then, or uses it on itself and creates Ansem as well as Xemnas. Well, my idea was that possibly he was trying, Ansem towards the end was trying to create more, probably try to find a way to have the Keyblade wielders figure out this plan. Because if you think about it, Xehanort's Heartless, aka Ansem, probably didn't really even need to consume Destiny Islands if he just needed the 7 pure hearts. He could have, again, simply had just gathered up all the different hearts, all the 7 princesses of heart, as well as maybe just like saying, hey, Riku, like, because, Riku's a good candidate for be a 13th Seeker of Darkness, go like, hey, kid, I can give you the power to get off this place, and, you gain darkness powers, and, become awesome. Great! But also, because I believe Xehanort, and at least I guess most of Terra's memories are inside Xemnas, so I guess there is a chance that Ansem didn't know that Riku was eventually supposed to become, a Keyblade wielder. That could be kind of a thing, but who knows. Again, basically, my idea with that part was it could be that the apprentice is in the end, going to try to sabotage Xehanort, and the reason why he himself made such a big scene was so that way, the other Keyblade wielders could come in. That way Mickey be like, why are some of the worlds disappearing? And goes to try to save the worlds, and thus also if he has any memories of Terra left, go to Riku, who he knows will eventually grow up to eventually wield the Keyblade. And again, Terra was able to see Riku. My camera's about to die in a second, so I'm probably going to have to charge it for a bit to finish this video, but he saw Riku in his older state when he's already starting to control the darkness in him. So it wouldn't be too far off to guess that he would just guess that Riku could, eventually control the darkness inside him and become one of the strongest Keyblade wielders there is, as well as then eventually, but also not knowing that Sora would become a Keyblade wielder, be probably the one who ends this. And I really hope this doesn't end, because I think I still have 5 more minutes. But basically, my last one, which is my first note of this, is the reason why the apprentice took on the name Ansem. being that they show in the end that or Kingdom Hearts 3D in the beginning that Xehanort's heart starts to take over again, and the apprentice Bray says, "Xehanort, are you okay?" or whatever, and he says, "I'm not Xehanort. My name is Ansem." And he summons his Keyblade, stabs Bray, unlocks his heart. But again, what is the reason for, undoing that? What is not unlocking his heart for taking on the name Ansem? Unless you're having an identity crisis. Unless you don't know whether you're Terra, Xehanort, or someone else. The third version. Think of it this way. What if you find out that your name is a lie? That your name actually belongs to someone else, a seeker of darkness, someone who's trying to destroy the world, and that basically it doesn't really matter in that point. But imagine that your identity, both your body isn't yours, as well as your name isn't yours. Both of those are separate things. You'd probably have a big, ginormous identity crisis. And so, the apprentice doesn't know who he is. Is he Terra? Is he Xehanort? Or is he, himself? And eventually, he has to... And so, he can't take on the name Terra unless it's like, he's Terra. Can't take it on because he's Xehanort. But, what if there's a third option? A third name he can take. A name of someone who he respects and, has taught himself. And he takes that as his own name. Ansem. He takes on the name Ansem because he is neither Xehanort nor Terra. It is the reason why he takes on this name. Because again, it seems out of nowhere that Xehanort's Heartless, for whatever reason, takes on the name Ansem, or Xehanort takes on the name Ansem. It doesn't make any real sense. Heck, this could even be a reason why he lets Kairi disappear, go to the Destiny Islands. There's no real reason. Well, I believe it's supposed to be some kind of protection that Aqua gave her, but still, there's no reason. I guess that's a reason for the reason why not, but still, it would be kind of cool to know that it's because that the apprentice is someone separate in identity. And that's why he chose the name Ansem. He chose a third option instead of saying he is Xehanort or Terra. He is Ansem. And heck, maybe the whole thing of him splitting his soul in half, or splitting himself between his Heartless and Nobody, maybe that in a sense was actually a way to try to expel Xehanort from him. Similar in fashion of how Sora is trying to expel Kairi, and eventually, by accidentally turned himself into a Heartless. In that sense, what if that's kind of a similar case? The apprentice doesn't want these two hearts inside of him, so he tries to use the Keyblade to unblock and release Xehanort and Terra, but in turn actually just merges his mind and memories with Xehanort more in the form of Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness, while Xemnas, of course, has Terra and Xehanort's heart. I don't know. Again, this is just a quick theory I want to throw out there. I'm pretty sure if people got mad we're not mad, but we're putting theories saying Terra, or telling me that Terranort and the Apprentice are the same person, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stuff for this one. But again, this is just my thoughts on this. Tell me what you guys in the comments below. Thanks for watching trivia videos that I've done. Links are on my face. Descriptions are on there somewhere. And we will see you later. The Keyblade.